Ah, we finally did it. We're there. We're at the finish line. I challenged myself to build commander decks out of all of the Spider-Man Welcome decks using a $25 upgrade budget, and it has been a journey. I mean, look at my beard 2 months ago when I started this thing. 2 months! 2 months I've been working on this, and at times I regretted it, but ultimately I'm very happy that I saw it through, and now we just gotta talk about the last deck. And that's my mono red Spider-Gwen deck. Now right off the bat, some would assume that the Spider-Gwen in question that I chose for the commander would be Ghost Spider Gwen Stacy, a 5-mana 4/4 mythic with menace, and whenever Ghost Spider attacks, she deals X damage to defending player, where X is the number of attacking creatures. And that would probably be the smart choice. But the more I tried to build it without just building a go-wide goblin deck, the more I found myself frustrated by it. It was boring if I did go all goblins, or inefficient if I didn't go all goblins. And if you're gonna go all goblins, just go all goblins and put a goblin in the command zone. This would just be a bad choice for that deck, so we ditched it. We ditched it when we went with the other Spider-Gwen. Spider-Gwen Free Spirit. That's right. This is a common commander. Common rarity. This is a 3-mana 2/3 with reach, and whenever Spider-Gwen becomes tapped, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Is it a bracket 2 deck? That might be generous. I would say it's not a bracket 1. It's not completely jank, but it's kind of jank. There's a charm to this deck. There's something inherently fun about it that I wouldn't have gotten by building the Go Wide Goblins deck. Is it winning games? Not necessarily. But am I having fun playing it? Yes. And that's what's most important here. So let's stop blabbering about it and actually get to the meat and potatoes of the deck, the cards that I added to make it function as a commander deck. As always, we're gonna start with the plan cards. These are cards that go directly into the plan of the deck, which is tapping down Spider-Gwen and discarding a card to draw a card. First up, we have Angie's Ravager. This is a 3-mana 3/3 with Angie's Ravager attacks each combat if able, and whenever Angie's Ravager attacks, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. You might be like, hold on, wait a second, that sounds like a card advantage. That should be in the next section of the video. And it is card advantage. And that's one of the things I like about it. But what makes this part of the plan section is that it has a madness cost. Madness is an alternative casting cost if the card is discarded. And in this deck, I want there to be cards in my hand that I actively want to discard. This actually becomes cheaper to cast. This becomes a 2-mana 3/3 instead of a 3-mana 3/3. Next up, we have Magmakin Artillerist, a 3-mana 1/4 with whenever you discard 1 or more cards, this creature deals that much damage to each opponent. If I can also burn all of my opponents for damage for each card that I discard, yeah, that's pretty sick. That's kind of awesome. And it's got a big butt. It's a 1/4. We love that. Speaking of benefiting from discarding, this might be one of my favorite cards in the entire deck, Marauding Mako. This is a 1-mana 1/1 with whenever you discard 1 or more cards, put that many 1/1 counters on this creature. I love a 1-mana spell, and one that can just get bigger every single turn is awesome. There's just so much to love about this card. I mean, honestly, mostly the art. It's a shark pirate, and that's frankly sick as hell. This next card is a bit of a finisher. All right, you got one opponent left, and they're low on life. It's time to kill them right now. That comes in the form of Burning Anger. This is a 5-mana aura with enchanted creature has tap. This creature deals damage equal to its power to any target. Let's say you got Marauding Mako out there with 17 1/1 counters on it, and somehow nobody took care of it yet. Put Burning Anger on there, tap it, boom, 17 damage anywhere. And this is just one of the many auras in the deck that allow you to tap the enchanted creature. And I put those in there so I have options that would allow me to tap Spider-Gwen without attacking. And then what might be objectively the strongest card in this deck, Sting the Glinting Dagger. This is a 2-mana equipment that says equipped creature gets +1/+1. It has haste, and at the beginning of each combat, untap equipped creature. It's just so powerful in this deck specifically, and I think in a lot of decks, but in a deck specifically where you have a tap activated ability, it's really good. It's really good in this deck. All right, now we'll talk about the card advantage cards. And the thing with this deck is the categories are all kind of muddied up because the ability of the commander makes it hard. Similar to the Miguel O'Hara deck, makes it hard to classify things as card advantage when you're kind of already getting that from the command zone, but it's important to have other pieces. And one of my favorites, Humble Defector. This is a 2-mana 2/1 with tap. Draw 2 cards. Target opponent gains control of Humble Defector. Activate this ability only during your turn. This card is so fun. This card is so fun with the right play group. I will say, I've played it, and there was one bad apple who didn't go with the plan of the table, which is generally you tap it, pass to the next player. As long as that person isn't there. Oh, this is such a fun card. Next up is Smuggler's Copter. This is a 2-mana vehicle with flying, and whenever it attacks or blocks, you may draw a card if you do discard a card. Now, this is really interesting because it has a crew cost. Crewing allows you to tap creatures you control to crew them. That's another mechanic in this deck, similar to the auras, that allow me to tap my commander without having to attack. And on top of that, it is a 3/3 flyer with when it attacks, you may draw a card if you do discard a card. This card is awesome. It's so good, and it's only crew of 1. And now this one is a bit of a stretch calling it a card advantage, but it's fun. This is Tersa Light Shatter, 3-mana 3/3 with haste, and when Tersa Light Shatter enters, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Whenever Tersa Light Shatter attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, exile a card at random from your graveyard, you may play that card this turn. That's where the card advantage really comes in, because I'm going to be discarding a lot of cards because of my commander. It won't take long for me to have 7 cards in my graveyard, so at that point, I then get an extra cast of whatever is in my graveyard for free whenever Tersa attacks. Now let's talk about ramp, a very, very important part of your deck. And a really fun one in red is Glittering Stockpile. This is a 3-mana artifact with tap, add red, put a stash counter on Glittering Stockpile. So every time you tap this for 1 red, it'll get a counter. And eventually you can tap to sacrifice it and add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of stash counters on Glittering Stockpile. It's not uncommon to see this thing with 4 or 5 counters on it that you can then tap and sacrifice for 5 mana. This is one of my favorites. Shiny Impetus. This is a 3-mana aura that says enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and is goaded. And whenever enchanted creature attacks, you create a treasure token. That's a 2-for-1 deal, baby. One opponent has a really big problem. Let's say they got a Blightsteel Colossus. 11/11, trample, infect, indestructible. Okay. Well, now you can't attack me with it. You have to attack somebody else. Oh, and by the way, when it attacks, I get a treasure. This is one of my favorite cards in red. I love Shiny Impetus. And then we have Chandra, Torch of Defiance. This is a crazy planeswalker. It is a 4-mana with 4 loyalty, and you can +1 to exile the top card of your library. You may cast that card. If you don't, Chandra, Torch of Defiance deals 2 damage to each opponent. Or you can +1 to add 2 red mana to your mana pool. So it is both a really good card advantage card and a really good ramp card. And then if you get enough on it, -7, get an emblem with whenever you cast a spell, this emblem deals 5 damage to any target. I'm probably not even going to be using that because the ramp and card advantage are just too good with it, but it's an option. Moving on to Targeted Disruption. First up, we've got Fiery Temper. This is a 3-mana instant with Fiery Temper, deals 3 damage to any target, but it has a madness cost of 1 red. So it is a lightning bolt that you want to discard. So as long as I get to discard this, I get to cast a lightning bolt. Or you cast it for 3 mana if need be. I actually did have that come up in a game when I was testing this. Somebody was running a Proliferate Infect deck, and their commander coming out, the second it tapped, they would have proliferated me, and I had the most poison counters. Their commander was a 3/3. They cast their commander, went to combat, and I cast this from my hand for 3, killing the commander and saving myself another turn. So if you have to cast it for 3, you have the option to. But ultimately, it's a lightning bolt that you want to discard. Here we've got a player kill spell, Devil's Play. It is X and 1 red. Devil's Play deals X damage to any target. And it has flashback X 3 red. Either you cast it from your hand for 1 plus whatever amount of damage you can afford to deal to somebody, or you use it as a discard fodder to your commander and then cast it from your graveyard. Flashback is also really beneficial in this deck. And another one of my all-time favorite red spells, Return the Favor. This is 2 mana plus. It has 2 different spree costs, 1 each. Spree 1, copy target instant spell, sorcery spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. Or +1, change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. This spell is incredible. I have won games with this spell. I have taken somebody else's victory and made it my victory. I'll go out and say it, okay? I'm making the claim. Return the Favor, it's one of the best. I didn't put like a ton of mass disruption in this deck. In fact, I think I put 4 total cards that count. And the first one, it's a quintessential Blasphemous Act. If you're running mono red, you gotta run a Blast Act. I'm sorry, you gotta do it. Then less of a mass disruption and more of a everybody is affected by this kind of a spell. We have Coruscation Mage. This is a 2 mana 2/2 with Offspring 2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. So 4 mana, you get 2 copies of it, and most of this deck are non-creature spells. There's not that many creature spells in this deck, so hey, you might as well burn your opponents. Why not? And then we have Fiendish Duo. This is a 6 mana 5/5 with First Strike, and if a source would deal damage to an opponent, it deals double that damage to that player instead. And this is great because 1, if you're doing any kind of burn effects, it's doubled, but also it says if a source would deal damage coming from literally any player to my opponents deals twice as much. And then we've got a couple of honorable mentions. First one is Dragon Master Outcast. This is a 1 mana 1/1 with at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. I mean, come on. If somebody doesn't kill this right off the bat, that's 1 mana for effectively 6/6 worth of bodies. And finally, we have Conformer Shuriken. This is a 2 mana equipment with equipped creature has whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. If that creature has greater power than this creature, put a number of 1/1 counters on this creature equal to the difference. And equip cost is 2. There's a lot there, but basically, you can tap down the defending player's largest creature and then make your creature their largest creature. This is kind of a busted equipment. I'm not gonna lie. If somebody else is running like Big Stompy, so are you. There you have it. There's my kinda jank, but really fun commander deck built out of the red Spider-Man Welcome Deck and $25 worth of cards. Now, I said $25. Let's see what the actual numbers are. As of recording this, the current card market value of all of the cards added to this deck come out to $24.94. Right on the line. And funnily enough, the entire deck cost only comes out to $28.42. And part of that is because I took the Mythic out of the deck. The rest of the contents of the Spider-Man Welcome decks are kind of cheap. As of recording this, I have yet to actually pull mana pool screenshots. I seem to have forgotten to do that before recording, but just know that by adding everything to a cart on mana pool and using their optimized cart feature, this is the price that it comes out to. I'm sure it is a very reasonable price because obviously it's going to be more than $25 because you're paying for tax and shipping and all that fun stuff. And I did it. I set out to make cheap commander decks out of all of the Spider-Man Welcome decks, and here we are. Here we are, months later. I finally did it, and I am happy to be done with it, but happy that I did it. If I were to pick a favorite of all 5 of these Welcome decks, it's tough. It's a tough call. I think it's gonna be Miles Morales. That was like initially when I saw them, that was the plan, was just to build a Miles Morales. But then I came up with the challenge of building a deck out of every single one of them, and I committed to it, and that's why we're here. That's why we've gotten to this point. So ultimately, I think that one's my favorite because it's green. I love green. I also love the Peter Parker one. Peter Parker one might be the strongest of the bunch. Spider-Gwen is probably the weakest of the bunch. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the Peter Parker deck is more fun than Spider-Gwen. Spider-Gwen is really fun because it's so silly and goofy. And Peter Parker is fun because it's kind of just a really good deck. So there's different reasons to love each of these. The ultimate takeaway, though, is that the challenge itself was the fun part. Building these decks with such strict restrictions, it was a very fun challenge, and I'm glad I did it. I believe my next videos are going to have to do with the Avatar set that is coming out right now, which I'm very excited about. We might be opening some packs in a video, so stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Join the Discord, that's in the description, and yeah, have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day. All right, bye-bye.